All right, what's up guys? VV back with another video. And in today's video, we've got some more spoilers to go over. That's right, guys. We got some more spoilers. I think we've got some promos and some EB-03 cards to look at today. So let me go and break down this video for everyone real quick so we can get right into it. First things first, we're going to be checking out about 10 or 11 new cards that are coming out. And then after that, we got one game on the sim. We got a game of red-black Koby. Okay, so we'll check that out at the end. All right, so as usual, I will have everything timestamped in the general description, and I'll have all relevant deck lists and links and stuff like that in the comment section below. If you guys have any comments, questions, or suggestions, please do not hesitate to put those down in the comment section below, or hop on the VV Theory Discord. Link will be in the channel description. Today's video is brought to you by Nin Garden, and pre-orders are now available for 4 new playmats, including Chaos Crew and Green Fury. They also carry apparel such as the Kings of Heart tee and pin. So be sure to use the code TheVV at the checkout to get 8% off on your next order. Alright guys, first card we're going to be going over today is Roronoa Zoro. This is a promo card. Now let me say this real quick guys. All the other cards we're going to be going over today are going to be from EB-03, but this is a promo card, promo 114. So this is a 4-cost, 5,000 power / character, Supernova and Straw Hat Crew typing, and a 1k counter with blocker. And at the end of your turn, if you have active Dawn, set this character as active. Okay, wow. So there really isn't a downside to this card, right? So it's a 4-cost, 5k, so it's something you're going to want to play out on curve regardless. It's a 1k counter in hand. It is Supernova, Straw Hat, and / searchable. Has blocker built in, and you're going to be able to attack with it and still stand it at the end of your turn if you have a Dawn active. This card seems very, very good, guys, I have to say. I think it was probably more intended for something like, maybe, I don't know, maybe Jory Bonnie or Red Green Luffy, where you're going to have a Dawn active at the end of your turn. But regardless, I mean, this card is just excellent, right? Because this is almost like a miniature version of Purple Katakuri, the 8-cost Purple Katakuri. This is like Green's miniature version of that card that comes equipped with a 1k counter and just unbelievable amounts of searchability within Green right now. Really good stuff here, guys. I'm a huge fan of this card, and I just don't see a downside to running this card. This might just become a staple. Now, the sad part is it is a promo, so who knows when we're going to be getting this in the West, how accessible it will be, how much it will cost because of that. We'll have to see. So that is definitely one negative. The worst part about this card, guys, is going to be the availability of it. I can almost promise you that, because otherwise there just is no downside to the card. Okay? But other than that, guys, like I said, incredible searchability, 4-cost 5k body to play out on curve, 1k counter on the side if it's in your hand. It's not even a brick in hand. It has blocker built in, and it can attack and then stand at the end of your turn if you choose to do your turn in the correct way where you have Dawn left over. Awesome. Awesome card here. Let's keep going. Okay, next up we have Thanks for the Treat. Okay, this is a purple event, 1-cost Vinsmoke family, Germa 66 type, with the effect main, you may rest one of your Dawn. Okay, so that will be 2 Dawn altogether, right? It costs 1 and then rest an additional Dawn. And if you have equal to or less Dawn on the field than your opponent, and you only have characters with the types that include Germa 60, or Germa, excuse me, not Germa 66, you may add up to 2 Dawn from your Dawn deck and rest them. Okay, wow, we'll talk about that more in just a second. And then we have a counter, up to one of your leaders gains plus 3,000 power for the battle. So it's a 1-cost 3k in any situation for your leader specifically, but that main effect is very nice. So remember, guys, it costs 1 to activate this, and then it costs an additional 1 Dawn you have to spend, you have to rest in order to do the effect. And it's going to check for 2 things. If you have equal to or less Dawn on your field than your opponent, and you only have characters with a type including Germa, okay? Then, if that is the case, you get to ramp 2 Dawn rested. So you're paying 2 to ramp 2. Yeah, this card seems really nice. This is probably intended to replace something like Black Maria, because Black Maria, I think, was still being played in many blue-purple Reiju decks. Someone correct me if I'm off on that, guys. I have not played Reiju in a hot minute. It's been a long time. But I could see this card kind of replacing Reiju, or excuse me, replacing Black Maria within Reiju. Because this is a 1-cost 3k, right? For 1, you're getting a 3k counter, So, you know, Black Maria was just a 2K counter. Now it was free. You didn't have to pay 1 to do a 2K counter, but you paid 1 and you got a 3K counter. And then you have a main effect here to ramp 2 Dawn. That's probably what Black Maria was ramping you most of the time anyway, right? As far as catching you up goes. Because Black Maria would give you 5 Dawn, but then you would go down to however much your opponent had. So this will probably keep you on track there, and this is actually even cheaper than Black Maria, because Black Maria would cost you 3 Dawn for the turn. This will only cost you 2. You just have to have only German characters on the board, and then equal to or less Dawn than your opponent. So yeah, all in all, guys, I have to say I think this is a really, really solid card for Reiju. For all my Reiju players out there, tell me what you think about this card. Like I said, guys, I apologize, but I have not played Reiju in quite some time. So please tell me, is this a card you're looking forward to including into the deck? Is this going to take the deck to the next level? Or is it just a solid replacement for Black Maria for the time being? You guys tell me in the comment section below. Okay, let's keep going. Alright, next up we have Uda. This is a green character, and this is a secret rarity card, guys. Check this out. It is a 7-cost, 8,000 power film character with activate main once per turn, set up to 1 of your Dawn as active. Okay, that's already very good, right? You're getting extra Dawn. So, activate main once per turn, set up to 1 of your Dawn as active. Then, rest up to 1 of your opponent's Dawn, or up to 1 of your opponent's cost 4 or lower characters. Wow, okay. And, oh wait, there's more. Okay, end of your turn, you may rest 1 of your Dawn and then set up to 1 of your film characters as active. Very nice. So notice this is like a complete package in and of itself. You don't have to even build an entire deck around film to use this. I mean, you can and you'll have additional value built in, right? But look at this, guys. At the end of your turn, you may rest 1 of your Dawn and set up to 1 of your film characters as active. It doesn't say 1 of your film characters other than this one. So you could even set this card as active at the end of your turn with that end of your turn effect. Really good stuff there. That seems really solid. And then activate main once per turn, set up to 1 of your Dawn as active. Just every turn you can do that while resting down 1 of your opponent's Dawn or 1 of their cost 4 or lower characters. Yeah, this card seems really incredible. I have to say, not broken or anything, but it just seems like you're going to be able to get so much recurring value from an effect like this. That means every single turn, you're going to get 1 extra Dawn to play with. You know, you're going to set 1 of your Dawn as active. That activate main is once per turn. That's not an on-play effect. So every single turn, you're going to be able to get an extra Dawn as active while setting down 1 of your opponent's 4 cost or lower characters or Dawn if they're trying to play more defensively or more aggressively, whatever, right? Because think of it like this. Against a deck that's trying to keep 1 Dawn active for defensive events, well, now they're going to have to leave at least 2 Dawn active, or, you know, an extra Dawn active, whatever they were trying to save up. They'll have to leave an extra Dawn as active, or you're just going to set down that Dawn. They won't be able to use their defensive event. But if you're playing against a deck that's a little bit more aggressive and they're filling out the board with a bunch of 4 cost or lower characters, okay, no problem. I'll start resting down their characters and start aggressively attacking into the board. You know, start prioritizing the board. So, yeah, this card seems really, really solid here, guys. And that end of your turn effect, the fact that it can even stand itself up, that makes it really, really good, guys. Really good stuff here. Big fan of this card. And notice the manga, guys. And notice, I do want to mention one more thing. Typically speaking, when you're looking at secret rarity cards, they have a gold border. So this is probably the secret alt art. And then this is, of course, the secret manga. So really good stuff there. I'm very curious to see what the secret, the standard art looks like for this green Uda. But both of these look very, very good. Okay, let's keep going. All right, next up we have Tashigi. This is a 4-cost, 6,000 power Navy character with, on your opponent's turn, this character cannot be KO'd by your opponent's effects and has blocker. Okay? And then end of your turn, you may rest 1 of your Dawn and discard 1 card from your hand to set this character as active. Wow. Okay. So, guys, this card is incredible. Not quite as searchable as the Zoro that we saw earlier, but this card's a little bit bigger. It does not have a counter built into it like the promo Zoro we saw earlier, you know, in this video. However, this card, you're a 4-cost, 6,000 power character, and on your opponent's turn, you have blocker and cannot be KO'd by opponent's effects. And then at the end of your turn, you can rest 1 of your Dawn and discard a card from your hand to set this character as active. So you're going to be able to attack in with this character for the turn, and then in your turn, rest it on, trash a brick from your hand, stand this back up, and now you have a 6K character that cannot be removed by KO. Wow. So this is becoming a very major theme, it seems like, within Green, guys. This ability to stand your characters up where your opponent just cannot interact with you know, your opponent cannot interact with your side of the board. unless they're maybe running bottom decking as removal or something like that. I'm not exactly sure what the idea here is, guys. It's kind of scary, to be honest, because they've already showed that they're trying to push removal out of the game and kind of, you know, not completely, by the way, but they're trying to diminish removal in the game. Okay, well, if they keep diminishing removal from the game and make it harder and harder to remove characters from the game, and then they print cards like this that can just keep standing at the end of the turn, how is your opponent supposed to interact with your board? Right, that is some concern I have. If you guys share the same concerns, tell me down in the comment section below. I'm not trying to complain or anything like that, guys, but that does pop in my head immediately. How am I supposed to interact with my opponent's side of the board? if all of their characters are just standing up, and then they also have access to cards like this that, you know, I mean, this card cannot be KO'd by effects. Okay, maybe bottom decking is going to become more of an answer in the future. I have no idea. Tell me what you guys think in the comment section below. But yeah, as far as this card goes, absolutely incredible. Very, very strong card. It is a brick. Maybe that's what a lot of people are thinking. Is like, well, hey, it is a brick. It's like, well, yeah, but you're going to want to play this out on curve, right? You're going to want to play this out as a 4-cost 6K, and now for the rest of the turn, you're attacking in with this card and trashing your other bricks from your hand to get full value from it, and, you know, get a blocker on your opponent's turn that your opponent cannot KO from effects. So, yeah, I have to say this card seems really, really good. It is Slash searchable and Navy searchable. So maybe there's going to be something that we can expect from that in the future. Who knows? Either way, the card seems really, really powerful. Green keeps getting some insanely powerful cards, guys. Let's see if the other colors can keep up. Good stuff here. Let's move on to the next one. Okay, now we got Hina. Okay, so this is a blue 5-cost 6,000 power Navy character with a 1K counter. And on play, you may discard one card. Return up to one character. It doesn't say from your hand, but I think that's implied because it's saying on play you may discard a card. So I'm sure it's implying from your hand. You have to be careful because usually the way that it's worded in the game of One Piece is you may trash a card and then it will specify from your hand, right? Because you can even trash characters from your board and stuff like that. But either way, I think what they're trying to say here is you may trash one card from your hand and then return up to one character with an original power of 6,000 to its owner's hand. Okay, wow. So one thing that's a little bit weird for me when it comes to blue cards in particular, I feel like there's a lot of stuff that goes off of cost and then a lot of other stuff that goes off of power. Like, I feel like blue is very much in the middle of the road there where they have cost-based removal and power-based removal like this here. Not a huge fan of that, especially when it's going to be on a Navy character. So that immediately hurts this card when it comes down to... Well, actually, it's going off original power. So I guess maybe it doesn't hurt that bad. But I prefer they stick to themes, especially within typing. Like, if Navy's... You know, what Navy was originally known for in the game was the cost manipulation, right? It had all this cost-based removal with, you know, cost reduction and things like that. I wish they would stick to that if that's how it's going to be for Navy. But this card here, actually, it almost doesn't even matter, right? Because it says you may discard a card and then return up to one character with an original power of 6,000 to its owner's hand. And this also does not say with 6,000 power or less. So this can only hit a character with a 6,000 power cost, or excuse me, with an original power of 6,000. You can't reduce it to 6,000. It cannot be 5,000 or lower. It has to be a character that is exactly 6,000 card printed right here in the top right corner. So I'm not a huge fan of how exclusive that is, unless there's some type of mistranslation, guys. If y'all know, here, I'll zoom in on it if you guys want to tell me in the comment section below. I don't know how well it will, I don't know how easy it will be to read that, but please tell me in the comment section below. But if the translation is in fact accurate, here's the thing. This card is extremely specific, and I'm not a huge fan of that. Because what if I want to hit a character that's 5,000 power, or 3,000, or 2,000, or even a 1,000 power little blocker? What if I just want to push that out of the way to go attack in? And this effect here says you may discard a card. So you're trashing a card from your hand. Maybe this is meant to be exclusively, Kuzan support. This might be specifically meant for Kuzan, but I'm not a huge fan of that either, the way they built this, even within Kuzan, because I'm only hitting a 6,000 power character. So maybe that's meant to combo with one of maybe a blue Navy card that has 6,000 power. I'm trying to think what that even hits within Kuzan, guys. I can't think of anything off the top of my head. My apologies. But you guys tell me what y'all think about this card in the comments section below. I'm not really in love with this card. Now, it is true that you can run this in any deck. There's no stipulation anywhere. There's no condition. You just have a 5-cost 6K with a 1K counter. It is Navy searchable, but your leader doesn't have to be Navy to do this effect. Just on play, discard a card, return up to one character with an original power of 6,000 to its owner's hand. So it does not bottom deck and it pushes it back to the hand. So maybe it's, like I said earlier, maybe it's meant to push one of your cards back to the hand and then you can reuse it. Not sure. You guys tell me what y'all think in the comment section below. Either way, not a huge fan of this card. Maybe there's certain support that I'm missing or not thinking of that can make this card really strong. Okay, let's keep going. All right, next up we have Boa Hancock. This is a blue 6-cost, 8,000 power character, Kuja Pirates and 7 Warlords of the Sea type. Okay, we have seen that type before, right? Or we have seen this kind of Boa stat line before, the 6-cost 8K. But let's see what this one does. On play, if your opponent has 5 or more cards in their hand, they send 1 card from their hand to the bottom of their deck. Okay, wow. Okay, that's very interesting. On play, if your opponent has 5 or more cards in their hand, they send 1 card from their hand to the bottom of their deck. I can't remember another effect that does that. Where, I've seen plenty of, we've seen plenty of effects that will make you trash a card if you have 5 or more cards in hand or 6 or more cards in hand, that cause you to trash cards. But this is causing you to put a card from your hand to the bottom of the deck. So that's very interesting. Maybe that's something they're going to start messing around with more in blue, which I am okay with this. Like, I'm not going to talk about pudding right now, guys, but anyone who's been following my channel for long enough would know that I'm not a huge fan of how pudding works. But a card like this, I'm a big fan of. I think this would be a good way to do some hand destruction within blue, where, okay, you have 5 or more cards in hand. Okay, I use this effect, and now you have to put a card from your hand at the bottom of the deck. I think that's actually pretty well balanced, but hang on, but wait, there's more, guys. Activate main. Once per turn, return up to 1 of your characters to the bottom of its owner's deck, and then attach up to 1 Rested Dawn each to one of your leader and characters. Characters, plural. So if I'm understanding this correctly, if the translation is correct, it sounds like it's saying attach up to 1 Rested Dawn card, 1 Dawn each to one of your leader and characters, like all of them. Now, you are having to return 1 of your characters to the bottom of its owner's deck. It does not go back to hand. You have to bottom deck 1 of your characters. But hey, maybe you're going to play out like a 1-cost searcher or a little 2-cost utility card, get an effect out of it, and then bottom deck it, and now you're giving a Rested Dawn to your leader and all your characters? Is that correct, guys? Or is it just to your leader and 1 character? If it is your leader and 1 character, it's still good, but if it is your leader and all your characters, the card is extremely good. Right? The card's very solid. You're playing out a 6-cost, 8,000 power character. You're hitting your opponent's hand and then activate. That's an activate main for the rest of the game, right? So now every single card that you play out for the rest of the turn, or for the rest of the game, every little like small utility card, you could just start recycling those to the bottom of your deck to basically buff your entire board. Right? So this card seems really, really solid. Again, someone help me out. If I'm misunderstanding that, guys, please say something in the comment section below. But if I'm understanding that correctly, seems really, really good. Okay, let's keep going. 6-cost, 8,000 power character too, by the way, guys. That's a massive character. Very strong stat line. All right, next up we have Vinsmoke Reiju. This is a purple 5-cost, 5,000 power character, Vinsmoke family, Germa 66 type, with the effect, your turn on play, Dawn -1. If your leader is Sanji, activate the main effect of up to 1 event in your trash. Hang on. With a cost of 7 or less. Wow. Okay, the implications, guys. The implications here. My mind is racing right now thinking of how I can abuse this card. So hear me out. This is... Okay, no, it does have a 1K counter. Okay, when I first was reading this, guys, 5 cost 5,000 power. It doesn't say 1K counter up here, but it does, in fact, have a 1K counter. And it has your turn on play, Dawn -1, which... Okay, and your leader has to be Sanji, too. So this card is obviously locked... It is obviously locked to Sanji, but that's okay because Sanji's leader effect is going to negate that Dawn -1 anyway if you need to do that. But check this out, guys. Even though it has all these, like, it has a lot of downsides, right? 5 cost 5K, that's 2,000 power under a vanilla stat line. It does still have a 1K counter, but it has a Dawn -1 effect, and you can only use it in Sanji. But this effect, guys, consider what you can do with this effect. Activate the main effect of up to 1 event in your trash with a cost of 7 or less. I mean, that hits everything but the blue event. It's a waste of human life. Is there another event that it doesn't hit currently? This card seems incredible, guys. I'm not going to lie. Especially as a deck builder, my mind's just racing right now. Because this is going to turn blue-purple Sanji it's going to turn Blue-Purple Sanji's trash into a toolbox. And this, you know, in the game of One Piece, there is no exile or banish mechanic. Well, I mean, there's banish for, like, hitting life. But I mean, like, a card doesn't just get removed from the game in One Piece. That's not a mechanic just yet. So notice what this does. If your leader is Sanji, activate the main effect of up to one event in your trash with the cost of 7 or less. That card just stays in your trash, though. So, you know, in my mind, I think if this was Magic, if this kind of effect existed, it would be like, okay, do this effect and then banish it from the game, right? Or exile it from the game. Well, in One Piece, that's not a thing. So you could just keep reusing the same effect over and over again in your trash. So imagine like this, guys. If you're running 4 of this card, as long as you have some of these cards in your trash, you can just use whatever you want to. This card ends up reading something along the lines of, you know, 5 cost, 5k character, your turn on play, Dawn -1, choose one. And then it's the effect of every main in your trash. Like every main effect in your trash. So if you have Red Rock in there, bottom deck any character in the game. If you have Gravity Blade Raging Tiger, bottom deck 2 6-cost characters. If you have Buff Burst, draw 2 cards. If you have Jet Culverin, bottom deck a 4 or less. I mean, that seems pretty good to me, guys. I'm not going to lie. This card seems very, very good to me. And then let's just imagine, okay, what if I want to reuse this card? I mean, like, say I run 4 of them. Okay, well, I can bounce this card back because it's going to be used in a blue-purple deck. Maybe I play out Jozu and bounce it. So, like, maybe actually it sits on the turn or sits on the board for a turn. And then, okay, next turn, I attack for 5 with it, play out Jozu, bounce their dude back to pull it back to my hand to replay a next turn. Wow. I'm not going to lie, guys. This card seems incredible. This card seems really good. I think this, I would even go as far as to say that I feel like this will actually really benefit Blue-Purple Sanji. Maybe this will make that deck into something, you know, that can make it pretty competitive. I'm trying to think, like, how would this affect Blue-Purple Sanji into something like, I mean, into Red-Blue Ace, it's obvious, right? Into Red-Blue Ace, you could just Red Rock all of their characters with this one character, right? You can just, I mean, if we can find an effect to bounce back, trying to think. It is a 5-cost card, so you probably couldn't play multiples in one turn of the same card, but if you have 2 in your hand, you could play one out and play out another one to get 2 effects, like 2 Red Rocks in one turn. That seems pretty insane. But otherwise, you know, you'll have to do like 1 card at a time, right? But still, that just seems so good to me. That just seems like it's going to be so good. We'll have to see what happens here. This card seems incredible. Like I said, against Red-Blue Ace, it makes a lot of sense. Like, it could really help Blue-Purple Sanji out. Against Roger, same idea. I'm just going to keep reusing I'm just going to keep recycling my Red Rocks from my trash. But then against Emu, we'll have to find a way to see if there's some kind of card that can help into Emu. We'll have to see what happens there. Maybe that'll just be the one weakness to Blue-Purple Sanji. Who knows? I have no idea. Whatever the case is, this card seems awesome. Cannot wait to mess around with this card. I was already starting to mess around with the Blue-Purple Sanji build that was more Fortress-based. If I remember, guys, I'll try to link in the comment section below. I put out an entire video about a month or so ago on a Blue-Purple Sanji build that was just like totally Fortress. And if I can have access to a card like this, I could probably do a lot of damage. I think I could do a lot of damage with a card like this in that Fortress deck. Because if I can just get down my 8-cost Katakuri and just get down a 10-cost 12k Newgate, and then they start trying to establish their board, and I'm like, nope, sorry, play out a Reiju, bottom deck your guy. That seems so good, guys. Seems like it has so much potential. We'll have to wait and see. I think this might be the most excited. Well, this is the card I'm most excited for trying so far from all the cards I've seen so far. Okay, let's keep going though. Can't stay on this for too long. Tell me what you guys think about this card in the comment section below. Am I missing something? Am I overhyping this card? Help me out, guys. All right, here we go. All right, next up we have Trafalgar Law. This is a yellow 8-cost 6,000 power character. Okay, and this is a secret rarity as well, just like the green Uda that we saw earlier. And it is a slash character, so it will be slash searchable, but it's not a green character, it's a yellow character. Heart Pirates type, so no Supernova either. Interesting, okay. It has Rush, activate main, you may discard 1 card and trash this character. Okay, add up to 1 card from the top of your deck to the top of your life. Then play up to 1 cost 7 or lower Trafalgar Law from your hand. Okay, here we go. So now it's starting to make sense. I think this card is clearly meant for purple-yellow Rosinante, right? So this is like meant to do some Trafalgar Law tricks, and that's what Rosinante does, yellow-purple Rosinante. Okay, it's all starting to make sense now. I was going to say, what is going on here? Because when I first read this, it's like, okay, it's an 8-cost, 6,000 power character. It's not Dressrosa, or excuse me, it's not Supernova. And it doesn't have a 1K counter. Actually, hang on. It does have a 1K counter, guys. It does have a 1K counter on it. So it's an 8-cost 6K with a 1K counter, but it's not Supernova. So immediately I started thinking, okay, this is not for Green Yellow Law or Yellow Eustace Kid. That was actually the first thing that popped in my head. I'm thinking, okay, how am I going to abuse this in one of my Supernova, Green Yellow Law or Yellow Eustace Kid decks? But we have Rush, so it's an 8-cost 6K. It's going to rush in, and it's going to rush in and attack for 6. But then you're going to trash the card. It says activate main, discard a card from your hand, and trash this character. Then you're going to add up to 1 card from the top of your deck to the top of your life, and then play up to 1 cost 7 or lower Trafalgar Law from your hand. Okay, so not terrible. Especially if you can hit one of the... Because there's like 2 7-cost Trafalgar Laws that Rosinante runs, right? There's the 7-cost purple one and then the 7-cost yellow one. The purple one's an SR that can buff your board and buff your leader power, and then the yellow one can gain a life. So that seems insane, guys. I will say that. I'm trying to think how negative you'll go in hand size, though, to do this. But hear me out, guys. If you can combo this with the 7-cost yellow Trafalgar Law, the 7-cost secret yellow Trafalgar Law, it'll look like this. For 8 Dawn, you're swinging for 6,000 power. You're going to trash this card from the board, right? You're going to trash a card from hand and trash this card from the board. And then you're going to add up to 1 card from the top of your deck to the top of your life, and then play up to 1 cost 7 or lower Trafalgar Law from your hand. And then if it is the 7-cost 9K Trafalgar Law that gains life, that's -4 in hand, guys. I'm not gonna lie. So don't get me wrong. The card is very strong. You're gonna gain 2 life potentially with the 7-cost 9K yellow Trafalgar Law. You're gonna gain up to 2 life with this kind of effect, or buff your board if you use the purple one. But if you try to, even if you don't do any kind of extra effect, you're basically going -3 in hand no matter what to gain 1 life, and maybe going -4 in hand to go +2 life. And you're only going up 1 character on the board. Because remember, guys, you're going to play this card out, attack in for 6, activate main, trash the card, gain a life, and play out a 7-cost or lower Law. I'm not a huge fan of this one, guys. I'm not going to lie. That's not to say the card is bad, but it's just to say that I feel like that's a lot to lose in your hand. And I understand, like, yeah, but you're going to gain 1 life or potentially 2 life. It's like, well, yeah, that's nice and all, but now I have no cards in my hand to defend my life anyway. So I guess I'm going to have to take those and hope for the best. And then I don't develop 2 characters, right? I only develop 1 character because this card gets trashed, and then I get the character that I cheat out from the effect. It's not a bad card, but I think it seems like it's going like severely hand negative just to do all of this stuff. And then what is the outcome? What is the payoff? You gain up to 2 life if you trash 4 cards from hand, and you gain 1 body. I don't know if it's going to be enough. Let's see what happens. Now, one thing I do have to say is this card is not locked to purple-yellow Rosinante. So, I mean, I guess we can still technically try this in green-yellow Trafalgar Law. We can try this in yellow Eustace Kid. I mean, we could even try it in something that's not Supernova or anything. Who knows? Maybe in purple-yellow Rosinante or purple-yellow Nico Robin, this could be decent. Maybe. I'm not sure. Tell me what you guys think in the comment section below. Is there another deck that we can run? Maybe a yellow and red, yellow green, yellow blue, yellow... Oh, hang on. Yellow red. One moment, please. Hang on. Yellow red. Can we do something with red, yellow Sabo? I don't know. Maybe some type of... maybe we can try to figure something out from there. Not sure. I've got a lot to think about with this one. I'm not impressed, though, when I first read it here, guys. What are y'all's thoughts on this one? Is this one any good? Do you guys see this card as being very good for, like, a certain deck in particular? Or is it only going to be good in purple-yellow Rosinante? Or can we abuse this somewhere else? I mean, guys, a lot of times that's what I'm thinking. Where can we abuse this card? So we'll have to see about this one moving forward. All right, that's enough about this one. Let's move on to the next one. All right, next up we have Perona. This is a black character, 4 cost, 6,000 power with Thriller Bark Pirates type and Muggy Kingdom type with blocker. Okay, very nice. And then on play, give your leader or one of your characters up to 1 rested Dawn. Then if you have 10 or more cards in your trash, play up to 1 cost 2 or lower character card with the Thriller Bark Pirates type from your trash rested. Wow. Okay, first of all, let's take a second to appreciate this art, guys. That is really awesome. Now, this is, of course, probably an alt-art. Yeah, you can see the star above it, guys. So this is like an alt-art card here, but this looks incredible. Now, as far as the card itself goes, it's also incredible. Because one thing that I've been really hoping for, okay, I will say this might upset some people, for Gecko Moria. I've been wanting a card like this for to run in Gecko Moria. In Green-Black Perona, I'm sure this card is just fine. It's not like it's bad in Green-Black Perona, but in Gecko Moria, man, this card seems incredible. Because one thing I've been wanting for the longest time is a blocker that I could pull out with Gecko Moria. Not the 2-cost Cerberus or whatever. That's not enough. That's a little 2-cost chump blocker. I can even pull that out with Thriller Bark the Stage. No, this card right here can pull that card out as well, by the way. Because I can literally cheat this card out of my trash with Gecko Moria. That's for 3 Dawn investment. Swing 6 with my leader. Play this card out from my trash. Give another Dawn. Actually, hang on a second. If I'm not mistaken on the timing here, guys, when Gecko Moria's effect is a win attacking. So you can play this card out and attach the Dawn. It says give your leader or one of your characters up to 1 rested Dawn. You could give the rested Dawn to your leader, and that will buff him to a 7,000 before he actually attacks. Yeah, well, I mean, before the attack resolves is the way I should say that, right? So you're going to be able to cheat this card out. You have a blocker now, and then you get to attach a Dawn to your leader, and then on top of that, you also get to, then if you have 10 or more cards in your trash, play up to 1 cost 2 or lower character with the Thriller Bark Pirates type from your trash rested. So now I can cheat out something like a Kumasi, something like a Cerberus, something like a Sindri to fill up my trash, or I can even play out the 2 cost Inupe to fix my hand. Yeah, this card's awesome, guys. I have to say, I love this card, especially that alt art. The alt art looks so good, guys. Black and pink is such an incredible color combo, and just everything about this card. This is great. I think, guys, tell me, am I overhyping this card? If for the Gecko Moria players out there, sorry again to Perona players, guys. I'm so sorry, man. I don't know what to say. I personally cannot get Black Green Perona to work ever since Green Black Perona lost Gecko Moria and Ice Age. I just can't make it work. I'm sorry, guys. If you guys figured out, please say something in the comment section below, or hop on the Discord and tell me in there. Will this card make Green Black Perona better? Like, is this going to help Green Black Perona stabilize in some way? We'll have to see what happens. But let me say this right now, guys. For Gecko Moria, man, awesome. I have been wanting a 4-cost 6K blocker to play out for so long, guys, because I wanted to have that ability to, like, okay, I want to be aggressive, but I want to also get defensive, and that's one thing that Gecko Moria can really thrive in. They can turn on the gas, they can turn on, but they can never really turn on the defense, actually. Let me rephrase that. Gecko Moria it felt like it was lacking that. It's like, no, it's just all gas, no brakes, we're just all in. Well, now with a card like this, we can kind of push and pull a little bit. We can stay in that mid-range for longer, where it's like, okay, I'm getting aggressive, but not overextending. What do you want to do? Oh, you want to start getting more aggressive? Well, now I'm going to cash in on a blocker, and I'm going to pull it back next turn, and this is going to pull 2 cards out of the trash each time. Guys, I love this card for Gecko Moria. You're going to be able to pull this card out from the trash and pull another body out of the trash with it. And now you can combo this with the, at the time this comes out, you'll be able to combo it with the new 6-cost Gecko as well. Man, exciting times ahead for Gecko Moria. Really good stuff here. Not for Perona. No, I'm just kidding. No, hopefully for Perona too. Who knows? Okay. All right, next up we have Nami. This is a yellow 5-cost 6,000 power Straw Hat Crew character with a 1K counter. And we have an on-play and an on-KO here. So the on-play is you may give up to 1 rested Dawn to your leader. Then if your opponent has 3 or more life, add up to 1 card from the top of your opponent's life to their hand. Okay, so we're burning life here. Not the same way as Nico Robin, though. That effect makes me think of Nico Robin immediately. The 6-cost, I think it's a 6-cost 6K with a 1K counter, and it has a trigger to play out a 3-cost or lower yellow card. That card just makes them trash a card from the top of their life. But this card costs 1 less, and you get to give a Dawn to your leader, right? So it does have its perks in different ways. They both can only hit if your opponent has 3 or more life. But either way, I think this card is pretty solid. But I kind of like how Nico Robin trashes their life. Like, they don't even get to take it to hand. But again, this card is 1 Dawn cheaper and gives a Dawn to your leader. So there is, like I said, there's like some, each one has their perks, right? But either way, 5-cost 6K with a 1K counter, and it's potentially burning up your opponent's life. And one thing that is very nice about this card is, you know, with Nico Robin, that was a 6-cost 6K with the effect. This is a 5-cost 6K. And that does matter, right? Because if you're going first, you can play this out on your turn 3. Whereas Nico Robin, you couldn't. You could only play out Nico Robin on turn 3 if you were going second. So this is actually pretty solid the more I think about it. Like, you know, practically speaking, it does make a lot of sense. And then we also have this on KO effect here. You may flip 1 card from the top of your life face up, and then play up to 1 character card with power of 6,000 or less from your hand. It's always good to see these on KO effects, guys, especially when, it helps get around cards that have removal, or at least KO-based removal, and then it also helps us against decks like Zoro that rest down the characters and start going for your board while going for life. So the on KO effect is excellent. I can't think of anything off the top of my head to combo, with this, but it could be really, really strong. But that on play effect is nice, guys. Giving a rested Dawn to your leader, so now you get to swing for 6, or if you're playing like blue-yellow Nami, now there's a Dawn attached to your leader, and you can go from there. And then if your opponent, if your opponent has 3 or more life, add up to 1 card from the top of your opponent's life to their hand. So you're making them lose life cards, you're making them lose trigger possibilities, and you're still, keeping them on a clock while establishing your board. And this card is going to be very hard for your opponent to deal with, because even if they can KO it, you just get a card right back, right? And that on KO, remember guys, it's just however they're KO'd. Now, if they get trashed or bottom decked from other effects, or bounce back to hand, or bounce to life, or whatever, then of course you don't get the on KO effect. But still, this is a card they're probably not going to want to do that to, right? It's a 5-cost 6K that already did its on play effect. So it's like, are they really going to want to red rock something like this on their 6 Dawn turn? Because who's to say on our 7 Dawn turn we don't play an even bigger threat, which we probably will if we're playing on curve. So really good card, guys. This is a really solid card. I don't have really anything negative to say about it. It's a 5-cost 6K with a 1K counter. It's Straw Hat searchable. It might not be fully Straw Hat searchable because it is Nami. Because remember, if you're trying to run immediately what pops in my head is red-yellow, right? I'm a red-yellow Sabo main, or I used to be at least. So red-yellow Sabo, if I was trying to play a Straw Hat version, I would want to run this card in there. However, it would not be searchable by red Nami. But who knows? Maybe, I guess with red-yellow Sabo, I could run the Garp, I believe, now from OP13. But you guys get my point. It will not be fully Straw Hat searchable if you're stuck with the Nami searcher. But other than that, this card seems really, really solid. Okay? All right, let's move on to the next one. All right, next up we have, so it was you guys making a scene. This is a black 1-cost Thriller Bark Pirates event. With the effect main, you may rest 7 of your Dawn cards. If your leader is Perona, you may play up to 1 character with a cost of 6 or less, and 1 with a cost of 4 or less that has the Thriller Bark Pirates type from your hand or trash. Okay, wow, a lot to talk about here. And then counter up to 1 of your leaders gains 3K for the battle. Okay, gains plus 3,000 power for the battle. So it's a nice 1-cost 3K event from your leader at any time. But that main effect there, guys. Okay, y'all see what's going on? Now this is direct Perona support. And I have to say, if you were able to fill up your trash effectively over the course of the game by the time you hit this on your 8 or higher turn, and remember guys, this is an 8-cost effect here to do the main, because it's 1 cost for the event and another 7 to activate it, right? So we got an 8 Dawn investment, but look what you're going to be able to do. Play up to 1 character with a cost of 6 or less. So this is, of course, you have to think of the PRB-02 6-cost Gecko Moria that can play out a 4-cost character. And then 1 with a cost of 4 or less. Okay, so it hits a 6 or less and a character with a cost of 4 or less. So think about it. Both of the characters you can hit are the new Perona. We have to actually zoom out a little bit, guys, and go back to that Perona. Look at this, guys. You'll be able to pull 2 of these out potentially, right? Because the 6-cost Gecko can pull out a 4-cost character. Okay, he can get 1 of these. And then you can play out a 4-cost with the second part of the effect of the event, which can be another 1 of these. And then that's going to allow you to cheat out 2 more little tiny 2-cost characters. So, guys, I have to say, this is this event here. So it was you guys making a scene. This seems really, really strong. Maybe this is what Perona needed. We were just kind of joking about Perona just a minute ago, right? Earlier in this video. Maybe this is what Perona needed. It's a 1-cost 3K. And then once you hit your 8, 9, 10 Dawn turns, you can start completely filling up your board. We just have to have enough good targets in our trash to use with this effect. Now, yes, you can pull cards from your hand, but that's not nearly as impactful. I'd rather get as much value from every card as I can, but it is nice that you can at least have that part of the effect built in case you need to. Really, really awesome stuff here. Big fan of this card. This has, guys, I mean, think about it. You'll be able to, in 1 turn, if you have no board, you'll be able to go, okay, play out a 7K, 2 6K blockers, and 2 2-cost utility cards, maybe cards that fix your hand, like with with a new pay, a threat for them to deal with later with Kumasi, a blocker with Cerberus, whatever it might be. Really, really awesome stuff here. Okay, good stuff. Let's move on to the next one. Okay, next up, I think this is the last one here, guys. It's called, okay, very interesting title to this one. This one's called Will You Be My Servant? It is a yellow 1-cost Straw Hat Crew event with the effect main if your leader is Nami. Okay, look at the top 4 cards of your deck and reveal up to 1 card with a cost of 2 to 8 and add it to your hand. Then place the rest at the bottom of your deck in any order. Okay. I wish it was with a cost of 2 or higher, I guess, instead of being a 2 to 8, but I get why they're doing this. Actually, I don't get why they're doing this, to be honest with you. I have no idea why it had to be a 2 to 8. I get why it needed to be a cost of 2 or more, so you couldn't just keep searching for this card within it and go, search deeper and deeper into your deck till you find exactly what you need. I get that part, but guys, tell me, is there something to do with 8 that they really don't want you to hit? Like, what is it that costs 8 that they're like, oh, well, we don't want him to hit that with this? I don't quite get it. You guys tell me in the comment section below. But I will say this, I think most of the cards that Blue-Yellow Nami would run, Blue-Yellow Nami would use, they are cost 2 to 8, to be fair, right? Like 8 cost is usually the top end for that deck. I'm not sure if anyone runs like 10 cost Ace or whatever in there. I'm not exactly sure. But I know they're running stuff like 8 cost, the 8 cost Blue Luffy, the 8 cost Eustace Captain Kidd, and then all the cards in between there from 2 to 8 as well. There's a bunch of cards that they run. But yeah, whatever the case, this card seems very strong. Trigger, activate this card's main effect. It's a nice 1-cost searcher for specifically Nami, right? If your leader is Nami, do a top 4 search for a card that costs from 2 to 8. Really nice searcher here, guys. It doesn't have any other condition, right? You can search up any card you want to. It can be any color and any cost within a cost of 2 and 8. So not too bad. Really good stuff here. All right, guys, just to recap real quick, going backwards this time, I think this event here called Will You Be My Servant, this card looks like it's going to be really solid for Nami. I think you can only run this in Blue-Yellow Nami currently. I don't think there's any other yellow Nami deck in the game. So very specific support, but hey, I think it's going to help with the consistency for, Blue-Yellow Nami. All right. Then this event here for Perona, so it was you guys making a scene. This event here seems really good, guys. I mean, you're spending 8 Dawn and you're basically just flooding your board. It's a 1-cost 3K defensively. Great, great card here. I think this might actually help Green-Black Perona be, maybe, guys, will this help Perona be somewhat competitive? We'll have to see what happens, but there's definitely some potential here. This Nami, 5 cost, 6,000 power, 1K counter character with a solid on play to burn life and a solid on KO to help protect your board, or at least help your, not protect your board, so to speak, but replace the board if it gets removed. Really good stuff here. Then we have this Perona. Very excited to mess around with this card, especially within Gecko Moria. Like I was saying, I think this card's going to be incredible there. But maybe that's just me. Tell me what you guys think about all these, obviously. Okay, this Trafalgar Law, I was a little bit disappointed in this one. I feel like, like I said, I feel like in order to get the maximum value from a card like this, you'd have to chain it into the 7-cost 9K Trafalgar Law, and now you're basically going -4 in hand just to gain 2 life and develop 1 body. And while that might seem like it's really good, you just lost 4 cards from your hand to do it. So it's not that it's bad, but it almost ends up feeling like maybe, I didn't do enough for the investment. That was an 8 Dawn investment too, by the way. But either way, other than that, it doesn't seem like a bad card. It just seems like a strange way to approach Purple Yellow Rosinante. Is this what Rosinante needed? Because it seems like this is mainly support for that deck. Or is it going to be better somewhere else? You guys tell me. Okay. Then we have this Reiju. Probably the card I'm most excited for experimenting with is this Reiju, guys. Playing cards from your trash. Awesome. Like, that's always good. And it's usually only characters you can play from trash. But this is pulling events out of your trash. 2 thumbs up. Cannot wait to mess with this card. This Boa, we've already seen this kind of 6-cost 8K stat line within blue, but I do think this is probably going to help with the Boa Hancock deck. And, a solid activate main to just keep getting recurring value every single turn. Really good stuff here. This Hina, I was also a little bit disappointed with this card because, you're trashing a card from hand, and you can only hit a character with an original power of 6,000. Unless there's some type of mistranslation like we were saying earlier, not head over heels for this card. I don't really love it. This Toshigi seems absolutely incredible, guys. All of these green cards we saw, so the Toshigi, Uda, and we'll come back to that purple event in a second here, but this Zoro, this Uda, and this Toshigi, green has so much board protection now. It's just like you can't even interact with their board at all anymore if they have the correct board state. Like if they just get the 3-cost Toshigi down to protect all green characters, and then you start attacking in with all your characters that stand up at the end of your turn, It's going to be a nightmare, guys. It's going to be a nightmare dealing with green if they keep getting tools like this. We'll have to see what happens. So really good stuff from this Tashigi, this Uda. Again, really good stuff. This thanks for the treat. Interesting card, I have to say, guys. Will this take the place of Black Maria? Because that was my big question. I think it very well could, because you're paying 2 Dawn, essentially, to ramp 2 Dawn, or you have a 1-cost 3K counter. So it could be pretty decent. Maybe this is meant to be a Black Maria replacement. I think it can at least work as that, even if it's not intended to fully be that. Good stuff here either way. And then last but not least, this Zoro, like I was just saying, blocker, any your turn, if you have an active Dawn, set this character as active. Just awesome. You know, you have all these blockers within green. You have all these extra attacks. It's becoming a very, it seems like green is getting a lot of love, guys. Do y'all feel the same way? Maybe it's just me. I don't know. All right, well, that's it for the spoilers, guys. We're going to hop over to the sim and check out one game on the sim before we wrap up this video. All right, guys, so we got one game to go over on the sim today. We got Red-Black Koby versus Red-Purple Roger. Okay, so let's make sure the volume is off. Let's get the speed on 2x, and here we go. Okay, so I am definitely no expert with Koby. Okay, guys, let me tell you that right now, but I am working on this list here because I think Koby could be interesting moving forward, going into EB-03. I'm not saying he's going to be meta. I don't know what could make Koby meta, but we'll have to see. You know, we'll have to do some experimenting and see how we can see what we can do with it. Okay, so they went first. They got to ramp on turn 2 with Buggy, and they swung for 6. We 2K out. We play out the Koby on our turn 2. We swing for 5. They take it. They play out a Mr. 2 Bond Gray Bentham on their turn 3, and now it looks like they're going to swing for maybe 6. Nope, they're going to swing for 8K. That's why I countered out of the first attack. Guys, I would counter out of all the attacks that you can against Red Purple Roger, because once it gets later in the game, they start creating a huge, huge board. Very hard to counter out. Okay, it looks like we're going to have a play mistake there, guys. Like I said, I'm no expert with Koby. I played out the other Koby here. I don't have anything to attack into, so that was just a waste of a card in my trash. It is what it is. But that was just an actual play mistake there. So now the Red-Purple Roger is going to play out Rayleigh. They're going to not use the effect to rest down my Helmeppo, I guess, because they're just going to swing 6 and a 6. We 1K counter out, and then we're going to 2K counter out to save the Koby, because he's going to draw a card anyway, right? Okay, so here we go. So now we do have a 3-cost event here. We're going to play out this Koby to attack into the rested Rayleigh. We reduced his power by 5,000. We're attacking in. We're drawing cards. We burned up one of their little 2-cost or lower characters with the effect, and now we're playing out the Peacock. Actually, I think it hits a 3,000 power or lower character. Excuse me, it's not cost-based. And then we swing for 7 into leader. They're down to 3 life. Okay, they play out Shanks here, guys. Now, we do have a doll in hand. We can potentially go for the Shanks here. They're going to go 7 into 5 there. And I'm actually just going, because it would be a 6K character, right? But the minus 1,000 from Shanks is massive. So right here, guys, we just have to play out doll. It's pretty much our only chance. We're going to do some searching first to see if we can hit anything. We're going to do some more search. I was hoping to get the that 3-cost event to combo with it, but we didn't get that. That's okay. We're going to use doll here. We're going to go and sack these 2 Peacocks to go plus 2,000 to our Koby, swinging into it to draw a card and also get a card out of their hand. 6 more, they give us another card, and now we're going 8 into 6. Okay, nice, we got rid of it. Now we're going to use the 1-cost event here, and we're going to fix our hand a little bit. We have a Helmeppo plus Koby combo here, but I'd like to establish the Koby if I can, right? I mean, that's a big character. Okay, so they swing in, we block out wherever they went there. And now again, guys, these Kobys are just drawing cards like crazy. They're just drawing so many cards here. Okay, we're going to go ahead and trash that. Okay, now we're going to make it where this Koby can attack into active characters. And they go ahead and just tap out here, guys, a little bit early. They definitely tapped out a little bit early, but we were just going to keep eating up their board every single turn while going bigger and bigger on the board, while also drawing more cards now that we have access to this Koby. So really good stuff there, guys. Notice they had a Newgate. So next turn when they went to attack in, we might have lost a character, to be fair. I'm going to be honest. Now, they were definitely going to lose that Edward Newgate, right? The Edward Newgate was going bye-bye. But then we were going to attack everything else into their, into the leader there. Actually, we couldn't even attack this turn because it was a 9,000 power leader. So we might have attacked with just a single card this turn, like maybe attack with the Helmeppo, just to drop them down to 2 life. And then we could use the remaining Dawn to, do some searching. So we could have done something like that. Either way, good game to my opponent. They left a little bit prematurely there, but they were starting to feel the pressure. And I will say, once your board gets to this point, it does become a lot to deal with. So, okay. All right, let's go ahead and check out the deck list real quick. A good game to my opponent. So this is the list I was running for that one game we just saw. Nothing too fancy here, guys. This is a new card from OP13 called Meteor Fist. It is a 3-cost, minus 5,000 to a character for the turn. And then the trigger can also activate this card's main, so you can hit a character for minus 5,000 that has not attacked yet on defense, too, if you hit the trigger in time. Other than that, that's about all. You know, what you see is what you get here. Nothing too special. Everything is pretty straightforward on here. This is not meant to be a super extensive deck list breakdown, but you know, I will list this in the comment section below for you guys to copy and paste and mess around with and see what you can come up with. But other than that, guys, the deck seems like maybe there's some potential, guys. I do like this 3-cost card here, and of course, I really love this new Koby here. This is just nice. Unfortunately, this goes off of base power. Oh, man, if it didn't go off base power, then this would be the most insane Meteor Fist combo with Koby ever. That'd be so incredible. Oh, well, either way, that's it. I'm done, guys. I'm done yapping. Tell me what y'all think in the comments section below. Let me get the outro page on here real quick. All right, guys, if you are liking, subscribing, sharing, commenting, viewing my stuff, if you're using my TCG Player affiliate link, if you're donating through Patreon or PayPal, if you're a Playmat supporter, a YouTube member, or part of the Discord community, I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. All right, I'm done. Until next time, peace.